This has been almost 2 years now. We have been waiting for this season. Lauren, can you just give us a little bit of where we start off in season two, coming back from a crazy finale?
Yeah, we come back. I mean, the exchange was made at the end of season one with Hershel and with Negan, and still nobody's really in a great place. There's sort of a some semblance of normal life, on this side, and then there's some semblance of Negan being invited to have more fun by these people that don't really mean
Have
it
more fun.
for him, and from there the fun begins.
Negan is kind of put in a weird position at the end of the finale. Jeffrey, where do you see, like, without giving us too much, I know you can't tell us much, where is he sort of, where's his head at coming into this new series, this next season?
Well, I always think that Negan can always see the finish line, or he sees he knows how he's going to get out eventually of a predicament. He's always been very good at kind of being a step or two ahead of other people, and I think this is the first time we've seen him in a place where he doesn't know what he's gonna do. He hasn't formulated that plan yet. When we meet him in this season, and he's in I think a pretty dark spot, and that becomes darker when he finds out, the plan of Dama and why she needs him. And I think he's sort of regretting a lot of things right now, starting with why did I go help Maggie try to get her son back? I'm an idiot. I think he's questioning a lot of things. Um, and he's not liking the taste of cockroaches. So he's not in the best of positions when we first find him.
Talk to me a little bit about, setting up the scene. And, the set now is so different than
Yeah.
all of the other, franchises before. What was it like shooting? Were there challenges, things like that?
We were really lucky to have a production designer this year named Bernardo Trujillo, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Bernardo, who was able to take everything. It starts with the scripts and Eli's desire to explore the culture of New York, but in a dead city. We're not just in like some dank place. We're in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. We're in St. Patrick's Cathedral. We're in the grandest, most iconic New York locations, Central Park, and seeing them all with this lens, with this like twisted view that so often is actually really beautiful in the show. And it's like, that's a testament to the story that the writers were able to tell, and then to our crew and what they were able to bring to life. Because I feel like season one, we kind of got this John Carpenter, Escape from New York, edgy, the way that the color scheme was, and now we go into this much more lush landscape, and then on an emotional level,
True.
that lets us do, yeah, was take the take the grandest parts of New York, as perverse as they become in the hands of these villains this year.
I think what's super cool is just being in a city and having an urban
That too.
atmosphere. We've been watching the show kind of live in the woods for, 10, 12 years, and to switch into this urban atmosphere where you've got a couple characters that are kind of fish out of water.
Mhm.
Um, they probably weren't the best city folks before the apocalypse, and now to throw them in New York, I think the dangers that come with the urban setting is stuff that they're not used to. Walkers throwing themselves off of high rises, and walking down an alley. It's much easier when you think about it to walk through the woods. I can see a lot more what's going on in the woods than I can with what's around the corner on Fifth Avenue. And I just think bringing in New York as such a major character of the show is such a cool thing. And it just brings in a whole world of opportunity that we've never really got to explore before. And that's what we wanted to do. That was the whole idea of doing the spinoff, was have these two characters that each other, and them in a place that's more dangerous than anywhere they've ever been before. And that's kind of what Dead City is, and that's our jumping off point. Let's see where we go.
I love that. And speaking of new characters, we have some. some really talented people coming this season. Kim Coates, Jeffrey, you've sang his praises. You said he's a brother for life. Talk to me a little
Brother
bit
for
about that.
life. Oh, he's my boy. I love him. I mean, I've known him for a very long time. But we'd never worked together, and to have the opportunity to get him on the show, and I got to work with him quite a bit this year, and I get such a kick out of him as a human being. And and then throw him into this as Bruegel, who's kind of like this off the charts, weird, crazy guy, and let him do his thing to that character. Um, I would spend half my time trying not to giggle when he was doing his scenes, because I would find myself just like, I was like, what a choice. He's just that kind of actor. The things that he would come up with were just phenomenal, and a joy to watch. It created a problem if I was like being giggly, but hopefully there wasn't a camera on me when I was laughing. But he's just one of those people that you want around, period.
Hmm.
In any capacity. And I think we were exceedingly lucky to have him be part of the show. And just one of my favorite people.
Lauren, okay, so I don't want to take up any much more of your time, but Lauren, we have to talk about you directing two of the episodes.
Yeah, one of the episodes. I
Oh,
did
one of the
episode
episodes.
6. Yeah, and it's funny because as we're talking about Kim, it's like one of my favorite parts of directing the episode was working with Kim, because we had like I got the chance to rehearse with people because I needed to rehearse with everybody and then get into the two playing the two roles. And Kim was just such an advocate. He came down to set with me. We worked out so much stuff, and we got to go at it like because I didn't get that much screen time with him, as Maggie. But Kim and I got to act out so many things and just workshop it the way that we actors love to do. And then on the day, there's this one particular sequence in my episode that's it's a very moody, very tense, steady cam shot coming around the corner, and Kim's just sort of gently introducing the group to a location. And it was the exact same thing Jeffrey's talking about. You cannot keep a straight face because the quiet, subtle little ad libs that are exactly a part of the character and exactly a part of Kim are just this constant stream of comedy gold. And it was like those are the moments that this job you can just like live for those, especially in a show that's so dark all the time. And yeah, it was an epic experience. I mean, directing was challenging and but then so rewarding. And there's like this scene that Jeff and I have in the episode that I directed, and it's one of my favorite scenes that Maggie and Negan ever get to have. And it was like it was just us. It was just us there having this conversation that was the culmination of so many years on the show and in our roles. And but then also just two friends, Jeffrey being like so at my back as a director. And it was funny when I called you to say, do you mind if I, direct it? I couldn't even get the whole sentence out. And he was like, you better. And so it was just,
And
it was
she
a
was
great.
great. She's got an inherent ability. I mean, obviously, she's been around for a long time, as far as, as an actor. But that doesn't always translate to a great director. And I mean, she put in the work, first of all, put in more work than anyone I've ever seen. Probably didn't need to. But she was so locked in, and it was a joy to be directed by her. And I loved watching her with the crew and the other cast. She'll be directing many more. It's a more of a time thing, I think, right? It's
Yeah, on this show, it's hard. It's hard.